coconut.
Hello, everybody. Hello, darling listeners. Welcome. Welcome. It has been so long since I've been here. How do you guys feel? We had like some holiday time off.
I feel refreshed and raring to go.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a while since I've been here too. So
yeah, I mean, yeah, Ted, where have you been this whole game? You might notice something a little different, everybody. We're mixing things up. Unfortunately, Nasim couldn't be with us today. She had a very important family matter to take care of. So we're doing something a little bit different. And in the spirit of that, we invited one of our good friends who Brittany and I found at Gen Con, and he just hasn't left us alone since then.
Can't get rid of me.
Make him sound like a creeper.
No, who runs Nerd Immersion, who hosts Brittany over there for a every other Monday game over on his stream. Yeah, Ted, maybe you should talk a little bit about what you do, who you are.
Okay. I mean, I could talk about me all day and all night. So as long as you guys want to listen, I'll be here. So again, as Celeste pretty much gave you the quick rundown. So I'm Ted from Nerd Immersion. It's Nerd Immersion is a website. It's Twitch. It's YouTube. It's social media. We stream 2 to 3. See, I'm pointing at you, but I'm probably not on the overlay. But that's fine.
Yeah, you're right. Actually.
Wow, that's phenomenal.
You are.
That's never happened before. I'm done. I quit. I did it, guys. I stream 2 to 3 times a week. Every Monday, there's an alternating game, sometimes with Brittany, sometimes that's Princess of the Apocalypse, sometimes it's Horde of the Dragon Queen with some of my other friends. Tuesday nights is live behind me. It's Tomb of Annihilation currently, which will be wrapping up soon, which will then go into a homebrew game of my own design. And then every once a month will be an evil campaign that one of my other players is going to run. So that's going to be interesting. And then when I'm not here playing on the Venture Maidens, I'm usually building characters that backs up or like a little bit into their stream, and then we jump over here with everybody to come watch you guys play.
And he's a competition, so we scalped him.
I know you guys are desperate for me to build Shrek. You're gonna have to wait at least a week, maybe 2, before you get me to build Shrek in.
How can we live without Shrek as a playable character?
I know. And then the YouTube is full of reviews. There's a ad nauseum review of Xanathar's Guide to Everything. It is probably at 6 hours and going still. So I review all sorts of products of Dungeons and Dragons related, and I buy them so you guys don't have to, and then you can wait to save your money.
So basically, we got us a professional streamer, a D&D person, to sit in and play a little Venture Maidens with us. I think I was sold when Ted gave us the quote, "When you get the opportunity to venture away, you just can't turn that down." So here you are. Cheers. Yeah, so everybody, welcome to episode 29 of the Venture Maidens Podcast. I, of course, am your dungeon master, Celeste Konowich.
I am your Eladrin wild magic sorcerer, Bellica, played by Brittany.
And today, Sage will be Zephyra. She is also an Eladrin, but she is a Horizon Walker ranger.
So you might have noticed. Ted, you already introduced yourself. Don't worry about it.
That's cool.
Wait, no, you have to say your character name too.
All right.
Damn it, I forgot.
That's fine. I'm sorry. You guys get more of me.
I'm sorry. I'm getting back into it. I haven't like DM'd in like a month. It's crazy.
So yes, I'm Ted. I'll be playing your half-elf paladin theater. So we'll see what he's about.
Yeah, so you
nerd.
Right, you might have noticed that a little everything else is different. Tonight we are still playing in the Venture Maidens universe, but we're stepping away from the direct time moment right when the maidens were about to transport to the city of Faelyn. So what you will be listening to or watching tonight is a parallel story that is happening at the same time as the maidens are arriving here. So it's sort of a new thing, and I'm really excited about it, and I think it's going to be great.
Heck yeah.
Yeah. So before we get into it, I did want to talk to you all a little bit. I'm also hearing about these characters in more detail now. Not for the first time from some of you, but Ted. Let's go around the table and let's talk a little bit more about what it means to be a Horizon Walker. Like, what is a paladin?
Sure.
Yeah, do you want to go ahead and start us off, Britt, talking about your character, whose name was Bellica.
So there's not much to Bellica. She grew up in Faelyn, the capital.
Mm-hmm. The capital
city. She is
city.
a city girl, capital city girl, and she's very average, except for the fact that she's a wild magic sorcerer. So, things happen. In her mind, it's because she's got so much power. She's like, I haven't figured out how to control it yet. But when I do, I'm going to be a really powerful sorcerer. She's pretty basic. And not only that, but I'm kind of loosely basing her off of the emo girl from Breakfast Club. I forget her name.
What was her title? The other one?
So I don't remember. She was the oddball. I really liked her. She was my favorite. Yeah, she was my favorite character from
the
there.
Misfit.
Yeah, she was awesome.
The basket case.
That's it.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you. Gonna bother me all night.
That would have bothered me for a very long time.
So she's gonna be quiet and kind of awkward.
So what does it mean to be a Ladrin? Do you want to tell us a little bit about that? I don't think the maidens, the only Ladrin you've run into so far is Isolde, but they're pretty key and important to this story. So what does it mean, Brittany? What's an Eladrin? What's going on with you?
So Eladrin they're from the Feywilds, and they're very proud of that fact that they're super closely related to all that Fey magic. They're the HBICs of Faelyn. They have ultimate control, basically, of this region. And I'm sorry, I'm kind of like fumbling along the way.
Yeah, no worries. So the Eladrin are the main ruling race in the plains, which is the continents the maidens have found themselves in. And of course, this adventure is in Faelyn, which is the capital city of the continent, or the country of the plains. Spelled like, the plains you travel to or fly on, not fields. And so the Eladrin are the big head honchos. So I imagine, Brittany, your character's had a pretty nice, cushy life. You're going to school. It's all paid for you. All right. And then let's move over to Sage. Let's talk a little bit about your character this evening, whose name is
Zephyra.
That's cool as heck.
It's the Arabic word for zero. Fun fact.
Oh, good.
Learn something every day.
So yes, she is from a different part of the plains. She's from a city called Ashtar, which is otherwise known as the City of the Bells, and this city is a bastion that protects sort of the rest of the country from the Fae that touch down inside of the very dense jungles, using bells to banish them and stuff like that. And so when Zephyra was a little kid, she had seen this giant 70-foot tall crazy tree elemental thing step forth from just the dimensions beyond, and seen these badasses with all these bells go to work and make quick work of this giant thing, and she was awestruck, and she has then since grown up wanting to become one of them. So she's become a Horizon Walker Ranger, because which is from Xanathars. I'm very excited. Because the rangers are all, those kinds of rangers are all about protecting the mortal plane from the interdimensional threats. And she's super stoked.
On the path. All right, Ted.
All right.
What are you all about?
Sure. I can talk about this. Yeah. So Larenthir is a half-elf, which I don't know how much we're going to go into in the game, but Eladrin, as we discussed, are they're the head honchos here. They're the ruling class, the ruling race. Others, everybody's tolerated. Some less than others. So he gets by. He's works. There's a lot of knowledge, a lot of reading, university stuff like that. So he's got a job. He's got a cushy life as one can have, and he is a paladin, which from what I've gathered thus far in my watch-throughs and listen-throughs, is something that hasn't really come across.
The maidens have not run into a paladin yet. So what is a paladin? For all of those listeners out there who don't know what a paladin is, and dragons.
Well, I can last 5e, so I can talk
about
this
Ted is
gonna
talk. Ted Talks.
It's a TED Talk.
They didn't, you'd think they would have asked me if they could have used my name. Don't even give me like a courtesy, no check or anything. TED Talk, I tell you. But yeah, so a paladin is in traditional D&D is more of your holy warrior. If a cleric is the priest who's touting all of the gods and their faith. And a fighter is someone who's out there, or a barbarian, or whoever's out there doing the melee stuff. This is sort of a meld of those two. So this is, you want to think of like the right hand of God. You've got the cleric spouting off all the scripture, and the paladin is the one who's up there beating it into people, if you want to think about it that way. But yeah, so they're a martial class. They work similar to a ranger as far as mechanics go, half caster. But they're going to typically be in the thick of things, which I will be, in armor and shields and all that. But paladins they can follow deities, but one of their primary things is they follow an oath. Mine is Oath of the Ancients, which fits with this because Oath of the Ancients is a very Fae-themed vibe. It's very naturey. It's very chill, which you'll notice Larenthir is a very chill dude. Like homies help homies.
Homies help homies.
If you want to think like Finn from Adventure Time.
I love
that. So because an Oath of the Ancients paladins' tenets are be the light, preserve the light, protect the light. They're basically all about enjoying the things that life has to give, because how can you protect other people and encourage people to seek out these things if you haven't partaken of them yourself? So like where other paladins may be stuffy and like, no, I don't drink, I don't do that, I don't party, he's like, hell yeah, let's do it, because I can't tell you if it's good to do if I don't test it out myself, man. Like, let's go and have some fun.
I love it. That's amazing.
The party paladin class.
Listen, there's this one specifically is my favorite paladin because of all of the things I've just said. But he does a lot of reading, and he's faithful to his oaths and his tenets, but isn't specifically to a deity, although he knows what's going on. In his readings, though, he loves unicorns. He just loves unicorns.
I imagine he also listens to like power metal.
Yeah, he's like totally. I mean, had my class worked out a little bit different, I would have definitely taken a lute proficiency, but it just didn't work out in the cloistered nature of being a scholar. But yeah, so he's seen some of the deities that have the iconography of unicorns, so he's down for that. And as such, that's why his sword has a very unicorn motif to the hilt and the crossguard. And we may get to meet Bosco, his warhorse.
Who knows?
Bosco.
We'll see.
It's D&D. Who knows?
Is 3 inches of blood considered power metal? What is it?
Maybe.
What? Is that a band?
Just metal?
Okay. I will put them... No, Twilight Force is a goddamn power metal band, and I love them. And they have just unicorns in all their music videos. But anyway, Great. So we've heard a little bit about our characters. I know for some of you walking into this, you're probably like, why? What? We're switching things up. What's going on? But we sort of thought this would be a cool way to approach what is going on in the world outside of the Maidens. There's a lot of moving pieces, a lot of political things, a lot of other players in this game. So, where we begin?
Literally.
Oh god, I haven't had enough wine yet. Anyway, so we are starting in a building called the Archives, which is located at the university, which is located in the city of Faelyn. Faelyn, the capital city, is a gorgeous jewel of a city. Everybody here is given clean water, food provided for. There are paved streets. The government is run with an extreme efficiency, and it is generally regarded as a very nice place to live. One of the main reasons for that is the university itself, which is vast. In this university, you can go there to attend a bardic college. You could go there to train to be a wizard. You could go there for a skilled trade to learn to be a ranger or a rogue. Whatever you need to do, there is a school that exists for it. Thus, the university itself is actually a huge, huge piece of the city, just a massive piece of land that is divided up into different campuses with different buildings. So when you talk about the university, you can't just imagine like one castle. It's vast. It takes up almost the complete southern half of the city, which stretches on itself for miles and miles. Easily the size of Los Angeles, if any of you folks have ever been there.
That's
so
a
huge.
Fucking big ass university.
It is the seat of power for the entire country, and it has been so for over 600 years. Ruled over by the Eladrin, by dynastic families who come into power through blood lineage, who believe that they have divine right to rule here. That was given to them by the first Fae who came down and created the Eladrin people. So, focusing back in, all of you are students at the university. The sort of system it works, you get free tuition to attend these universities in exchange for working for them. So sort of like the best grad program you can imagine. And that deal is worked out in different ways, depending on different schools. But all of you have found yourself in this position where you're going through and you're learning your class of choice. However, a lot of you have run into trouble with specific teachers. One in particular is a dog.
Talking dog? What?
He's a dog and he hates you.
It's my fault.
One in particular who you have all had a rough time with. He is an old, cranky-ass Eladrin by the name of Kratos. He has been professor of antiquities on the campus of learning, which is specifically what it's called that because these are all the horrible book classes that you are required to take before you get to take the fun major classes. So he is so old. So old. His skin almost whispers and rattles like pages of ancient tomes as he walks down the hall and always exudes this musty sort of smell. And he has placed you all in it's not called detention in this world, but teachers can, if they feel you are being, since you do work for the university, every professor is basically like your mid-level manager or a boss in some way. If they put you on a specific task and it is allowed within the time frame of your other job duties, you have to do it. So all of you have landed yourselves on recording duty. So what this means, it is one of the top 10 list of worst jobs you can be landed with. This is one of them. Essentially, there's a building called the Archives that sits almost at the heart of the campus. It is one of the oldest buildings that was ever constructed there. So one of the first ones. It is where all the records of where the main library are stored. So the library itself is so huge and vast that they need a separate building just to contain the card catalogs and ledgers and everything containing what is in it. It is also home to, at the basement level, the artifact storage. So strange magical items that come across, or if, people are excavating and they find random things or acquired tokens, they all end up here to be sorted and cataloged. And a lot of these, especially the ones that are deemed uncommon or perhaps don't have any magical power, are given to grad students who have to go through them, catalog them, write them out in these long ledger books, give detailed descriptions, and sort them out.
This sounds so tedious and monotonous.
It is, again, top 10 worst jobs you can get as detail. So did you all have a chance to talk to see if you all know each other before this, or are we just going into it blind?
We talked about things.
I'm still stuck on the Breakfast Club. I'm pretty sure that's basically what's happening, right?
Still thinking about that.
We're all like,
all right.
Yes, this game is actually the Breakfast Club. Screw D&D.
What was your character's name again, Ted?
Labyrinthian.
Labyrinthian. I feel as though Zafir would know Labyrinthian because she's like, oh my god, Faye. Oh my god, tell me about Faye. You're Heroes of the yeah.
Okay, yeah, and I feel like we have that kind of martial brotherhood, if you will. So there's that. There's definitely. Yeah, that makes sense.
What was your race, Zafira?
Eladrin.
Eladrin as well.
Yeah, to Eladrin.
Yes.
Which is which is the pretty common answer in the city. It's a huge population of Eladrin, understandably.
You're a literal statistic with 2 to 1.
Yeah, I guess I should say that because of some of the stigma Labyrinthian has as a half-elf has grown out, a beard to attempt to shy away from the elven-like features, because since elves are looked down upon, so he's trying to do his best to not be associated with them because it doesn't. So,
yeah,
just to throw that out there.
In this society, if there's one thing Eladrin hate most, it's elves. Another race claiming that they were here. It goes back long in history, but basically the elves were there when the Eladrin arrived, and the Eladrin said, no, we were the first things created by the gods, and the elves said, no, you weren't, screw you, and then it became a big fuck you match, and now the elves generally all live on a reservation in the northeast part of the country. But still, elves and half-elves do live in Faelyn. They are scattered around. The Eladrin just can't seem to wrap their minds around why elves would possibly want to live here when they have such a nice piece of land in the corner of the country.
So bad.
There's a lot of interesting political situations going on in the plains. But you suspect that's one of the reasons Kratos has put you on this detail, because you're generally a good boy, but he just always finds something wrong with what you're doing, no matter what you do or how hard you try. You just keep winding up in the archives.
Just people, you know what? He's got to be him. That's what he wants to do. I'll be me. I'll come do these books. I don't whatever, man. It's all good.
Yeah. It's cool. I love books.
Sorry,
Maybe I'll find something about
OBS
unicorns.
keeps freezing you guys.
Oh, that's fun.
Is there anything we can do, or
what's on her end?
Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea why it's still frozen from what I can see.
Do you have a little pop-up at the bottom bar on the left that says internet too hot?
It's
all right.
in the green.
So It's in the green. How many does it have a frame or like a it's in the thousands, like 29 or 1900? There's like a number next to the green
FPS,
square.
Right? Oh yes, it's 1966.
All right, so that's 1900 bits per second on the stream speed. So it's you're not dropping frames either.
It's still frozen. Because I'm watching on Twitch as well. I apologize. This never happens. This hasn't happened in like a year.
Must be me.
Woo. How dare you, Ted? You broke our stream.
Okay, it's like
labyrinthian.
It's back now.
It's moving again.
We'll see how long it lasts. I apologize, audience, people in the Twitch stream. The audio sync has been off and it's gonna freeze temporarily, so.
Well, that's why we also have podcasts.
Yay!
Yay.
Our audio is gonna
guys.
sound great. All right. Cool. So we begin our session this evening. Wow, we finally got there after 30 minutes of exposition. Also, we're going to be playing a little bit later than our usual hour and a half due to special circumstances. I hope that doesn't hurt anyone's feelings. Great. So you all find yourselves, you are beginning now in what is called the catalog room, which can only be described as a glorified closet that is just ringed by bookshelves, papers everywhere, stacked in bins. There's one large work table where you have about 6 different ledgers that are the new ones to be filled, and then the rest of the bookshelves are just crammed with years and years and years of students having to come down here and catalog individual artifacts. In one corner of the room, there is a large sack that looks like a burlap sack, but all of you know better than that, or at least you would, Ted, your character, because you've been through this a lot. Yeah. It looks like there are maybe about 5 items in there, but you know that's a bag of holding, and you know there are always more items than you think. Okay. This is the given task for this evening, to catalog all of the items in this bag. To record them, you, of course, aren't supposed to test them out in any way. What you do, you take an item, you list its physical characteristics. You have these large, they're not laminated, but they would be if this weren't medieval times, sheets where you have to go and you're like, okay, sword, short, iron, and write down a serial number code inside of these books.
Oh my god.
So in this room, the room itself is about 20 by 20 feet. So it's pretty cramped with all of the bookshelves in there and the large table. There are 2 stools in the room, this large sack. There is a door to the south, which leads out into the hallway, which would lead you back to the main basement kind of room with the steps upstairs, going upstairs. So you are in the basement level of this place. And there is a door to your west, which leads into what is fondly referred to by the students as the junk room, though it is officially called the treasury.
Lovely.
This room is full of sacks, just like the one in this room, just waiting to be cataloged.
Is this Bellica and Zephyr's first time in this scenario?
So I'm like, think, gang.
I think because Zafira is a smartass and super talkative and won't shut up during her classes, probably not the first time. She just doesn't understand why no one will let her talk. She's just really passionate about things and people just don't understand.
I think this would probably be, I don't know, Bellica, what do you think?
I think it's also Bellica's maybe second or third time because of her wild magic. Yeah, she hasn't really been able to control that, and I'm quite sure the professors are just slightly fed up with her. So they're like, until you get your shit harnessed, you're gonna keep having this as a consequence.
Yeah, you have to play in the basement with your book friends. And I think, Labyrinthia, I think you've been here at least 10 times.
Yeah, I'm a veteran of cataloging. Great.
Yeah. you can flip back through the pages of this book and see your handwriting just filling a lot of these pages.
If you look at it, it was very like proper at the start, and then it's gotten like progressively just like
bigger and sloppier.
Yep, because it's just like here I am again, writing down stuff in the book.
Whatever.
Yep. Hey man, it's whatever. So
you were sent down here about 7 p.m. You have all had a full load of classes today, perhaps some other duties, but this was, one more thing. And you are not supposed to leave until this sack is empty and quantified for the evening. So I'll turn it over to you guys a little bit.
Cool. So Saphira would just be kind of sitting on the floor, like just like plopped down with like her legs kind of like flopped over into the ground, and she'd just be like pulling stuff out of the sack and just all willy-nilly be like, whatever, like teachers are so dumb, like they don't even know what they're talking about half the time, and she's just like
everything you're pulling out, you get like a dagger comes out, a jug rolls out, what looked like a piece of armor, maybe a cloak, a candelabra. They're just a total random assortment of things. So you pull out like 4 of them and throw them into a little pile.
When she pulls out the cloak, she stops to examine it and be like, how would I look in this?
Terrible. It's like moth-eaten in the bright orange color.
Ugh.
all right.
It feels gross. Your hands already feel gross, when you're picking up old stuff.
Hate that feeling. Ugh.
Yeah.
So gross.
So there's one in this room that we're cataloging. One. This is the 3 of us are on this one. All right.
On this one sack.
All right. I'm gonna. You've got those 4, so I'm gonna reach in and I'm gonna grab the next thing,
okay.
But just with practice and just like slump shoulders and like, all right, what do I get out of the sack?
Do you want to? Why don't you roll for me?
What do I
roll? A D100.
All right, here's my D. There we go. 55.
Okay. You pull out a tattered piece of paper in a scroll case that looks like it's been chewed on by something, and you can still see the claw marks, and it's a little bit wet.
So attractive.
And I'm gonna guess I'm gonna have to open this scroll case and catalog what's in it too, right?
Oh yeah, that's like a double you just pulled out.
What's
so
that?
it's
that looks
just
weird.
It's just like all right.
All right,
so
there we go.
And I'll put it down and I'll get the sheet and I'll open it up and then just like this is so dumb.
So you pull out the sheet of paper, and on it is a drawing of a naked woman casually reclining in an armchair with arcane scroll script all around it. It's very lewd.
So yeah, basically what you'll see is I'll be, if this is my scroll here, he'll like be going and like open it up and look at it and then like look over his shoulder at the girls and just like turn his back to them a little bit and be like, I'm gonna need a minute with this one. And he's just gonna sit there and he'll very slowly start cataloging this one down.
Ew.
But like making sure he takes it all in for research purposes.
Yeah, absolutely. You've got to note all the details.
Yes.
She very obnoxiously like pops up onto her feet and then like leans over your shoulder really close. What's that? That looks weird. What language is that?
What is this voice?
What kind of spell is that? Does it like take people's clothes off?
What a weird spell.
And he's just like, I think you just have to just take it all in. That's what's most important.
I think the point is to take it off.
Oh.
I like that. And he just he never breaks eye contact with the scroll. He's just like, yep, you're right.
Good.
Got to take it off. Sure. Yep. All right.
This is also a scroll of charm person.
Oh, okay.
Just
all right.
Yep.
So I'm gonna be like, as I make that realization, I'm like, man, that
Good one,
spell
guys.
is so much better than I thought. And then like I'll do a mental recollect. Nope, don't have that spell. Never mind. Damn it. And I'll just like catalog it and roll it back up and put it in the.
Mm-hmm.
And you said this was a chewed on scroll case?
Yep.
The one that has the charm person and the naked woman inside it was chewed on and scratched.
That's kinky.
Yeah, this is. There's a much like even more ginger holding of the scroll case as I move it like over.
Don't want to know.
Yeah, don't. And I like very like dust off my hands
It's still
from
moist.
whatever. Yeah, that's what I'm.
Yep. It's a little bit damp.
No,
Gross.
do not want.
Saphira goes and she plops down after she gets bored talking to Labyrinthian and starts like, and starts writing stuff down.
Brittany, are you cool?
I think so.
All right. You're making the
face. Yeah.
work face.
Sorry.
It's very determined.
I have not experienced this from OBS in a hot minute, so that's why I'm like... Sorry, I'm good. I'm back.
Got it.
I'm back. I'm here.
Okay. What's Bellica doing while this lewd scroll exchange is
She's
happening?
been picking her nose in the corner.
Wow.
Very attractive.
Spaced the fuck out. She has been absolutely spaced out, daydreaming, like twirling her hair slightly, and then like comes to and looks over. What are you guys doing? What are you guys doing?
I mean, like our job, man. Like that's what we're here to do. Like catalog these things. I know it's not fun, but like there's a lot to do, and we've got like we're doing it. Like 3 people, it'll go way quicker. Promise.
Yeah, we gotta get this whole thing empty. Like, do you know how many magic items are in here? I don't even have the really magic. Why do we have this stuff? Where did it even come from? It's so fucking stupid.
Are you pulling things out?
Yeah, like...
Yes, she's like trying to now like shake the bag.
Oh, bag of holding problem. One thing comes out at a time. In an extremely horrible act of gravity and magic, only one item, no matter how vigorously you shakes it, and it lands, and then another one comes out.
And she just like gets fed up and just like throws it across the room. It's like, I'm so over this.
All right, why don't you go ahead and roll me a D100 Sage?
Yes.
Just for funsies. Most of this is junk, but every once in a while,
66.
something cool comes out. Oh, okay. A pair of velvet purple slippers fall out of the bag. They're bound together by a silvery sort of looking thread that you don't think is quite twine, but it looks very strange and unusual, and they look like super nice slippers. Definitely different than a lot of the junk that have fallen out so far.
She kicks those over to a corner.
I was gonna say,
hide them for later?
I was gonna say, do we know? Like, we're doing the cataloging, so theoretically, nobody knows what's in this bag. Theoretically speaking.
Theoretically speaking.
All right. Not that that's his bag, like a thing that he would ever do, but
Paladin boy.
Yeah, I mean, like
literally not his bag.
It's literally if you're. You know what? As you come back, as Bellica works her way back over, because I can I'm gonna guess from garb wise that you're more like scholarly, magic-y, less fighty, and I'll be like, so like, do you know Charm Person as a spell? Because like, I feel like do you, but you know about it. Because is it anything like this? And I will open back up the scroll case and hold a picture of
oh man, there are boobs.
The lewdly drawn woman like lounging that is this Charm Person scroll, and be like, does it work like this?
No, that's not charming to me whatsoever. So if it's a Charm Person spell, it's going to be to a very specific demographic.
And he's like, wow, I didn't know that it worked like that. It's crazy. All right.
Ew.
Like rolls it back up, puts it away.
Can you all make perception checks for me, please? I fought off the urge to say listen. Because I'm growing as a person.
Woo, woo,
I believe in you. That is a 23.
You said perception?
Yeah.
Indeed.
15.
I fucking rolled a 6.
All right. So Bellica doesn't notice this, but the two of you, in the middle of holding up scrolls, throwing things out of bags in your tiny little room, your candlelight seems to just flicker for a moment, as if a strong gust of wind moved past. And then you swear you hear a slight, the roar of wind just outside your door as it pushes, and the door rattles just seemingly for a moment. But the minute you turn your eyes and address it, put it in your consciousness, it stopped. But it was definitely there.
And there are no windows in the basement?
There are no windows in the basement.
It's basement.
There should be no source of wind. You're logically no sense.
That was weird.
Yeah, that's I don't know. It's not, and this has never happened before.
No, never when you've been down here.
I've been
this
down
isn't
here.
a normal.
I've been down here a lot, like a lot, and that's never happened. That's weird. All right, door thing. You just don't do that again. Keep working. I'm addressing the door.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the door is into it. It's listening very hard.
Now I'm more suspicious.
Yeah, the door is leaning in.
All right, door's a mimic. Everybody be ready.
Everybody, Celeste loves door mimics. It's my MO. God damn it.
3 or 4?
6, I think.
Farther. Yeah, it's 6 or 7.
Behind door number
5.
1. Behind door number... Yes. Good. Sweet. So, are you going back to your task, or
but
how
I'm
are you...
gonna be facing the door. I'm not gonna turn my back to the door, so whatever I take out next to catalog, I'm still gonna, try to keep it in my periphery, so if something moves, I see the movement, just so I'm aware what's going on.
Got it. Yeah. So you just keep it in your view, and after a while, you feel silly as you're cataloging.
I often feel silly.
Yeah. You're like, oh my god, and you go back, and more tedious work. Bellica's still being really useful in the corner. Or...
I mean, she's working. She's totally working. She's just not conversing as much.
Right.
And I when she's being kind of standoffish, and I look to Zephyr and be like, what's her deal? But not say anything out loud, but
yeah, kind of she kind of motions back to you with a shrug,
I'm
I don't
roll
know.
A perception check to see if I sense this.
Sure.
Yes,
or
she's not making
insight. Okay.
She's not making any sort of.
Yeah, there's zero stealth here. This is
not trying to hide it, whatever.
Yeah, just do an
I rolled a 13 for insight.
So, I mean, you get a pretty good idea of what they're doing. I mean, they're being really obvious. It's clear that they're what the hell?
I'm hunched over, doing my thing. My hair's all in my face, and I just kind of look over at you guys, and I roll my eyes and get back to what I'm doing.
Oh, okay. And this carries on for a bit. The room begins to grow colder. So much colder. As it gradually comes on, so all of a sudden, the first thing you really notice of it is your breath is starting to come out in puffs, as you're stooped over the ledger going on. And that summons you again to, kind of look around, and you see now that there are little crystal pieces of ice that have begun to form and creep underneath both of the doors in this room.
Fuck?
So coming to the west door, which is the junk room, and then to the south, which leads into the hall. And again, you all hear very loudly a howling wind sound, as if somebody has just opened up a window on a tunnel that just... So that... whispering.
So when the mentors are coming?
I guess that's the sound I made, but I'm trying to imagine, like, in a storm, if you leave one window open in your house and it goes down a hallway.
Oh, yeah, you hear that barreling like a bowling ball down a hole on the wall.
And you actually begin to hear clattering sounds as if doors somewhere else are flying open in the wake of this wind.
What the fuck is that? She yells out to everyone.
That's not normal.
Could I?
Yeah, is there a check I can make?
Could I make an Arcana check?
An Arcana or Nature? I mean, whatever check you would like to make.
Well, those are exactly the same for me. I'm gonna make one of those.
Ditto.
Right. You can make a religion check if you think that will help you.
No, because I'm worse at religion than I am at nature and Arcana.
Oh goodness.
What a bad paladin.
Listen, man, like, it's all good.
Here for the party.
Yeah.
I got a 13.
I got a 17.
13 for Nature? What's
Arcana.
Arcana and Arcana?
I'm more naturey, so I'll go with Nature. 17 Nature.
Arcana. This could be a wide variety of effects that could be down here. It would make more sense to you that this would be some kind of spell going on. You do know that there are a lot of weird magical artifacts down here. Maybe something went haywire. But, I mean, this looks sort of like a kind of cold spell or, I mean, some basic magic. But your first impulse is to think that maybe something here has activated. That's the only, like, rational thing that occurs to your brain. Nature check. This should not be possible. This is not a natural phenomenon. In no way is nature associated with this. Perhaps there are some creatures that could do this. If something has moved in or stalked into the dark halls of the archives, that is extremely possible. But otherwise, this isn't like a nature effect. This isn't something to be ignored as a strange phenomenon of the basement.
Okay. All right. I'm gonna tell you guys and be like, so, like, don't be alarmed, but this is not natural.
Yeah.
So, like,
obviously.
but like, I know it's not. Like, this is not a thing.
You rolled a dice check. He knows
I did.
it's not.
I know it is not. But you said it's coming on both doors?
Mm-hmm. And the ice is now beginning to creep further and further into the room to the point it's about to hit your boots. It's started to move and climb up on the sack.
I'm gonna say we should get out of here. Like,
yeah.
Like, I'm all for doing my job, but, like, there's no hazard pay, man. Like, I'm out.
Yeah, definitely.
Right? You have two ways out of the room. The door to the west, the door to the south. Both have ice crystals moving and coming towards you. The south, leads to the hallway. The west to the junk room.
South?
Yeah, do we have our gear, by the way? Or will we not have it?
Okay. Well, you have whatever you would have brought. I mean, if you're going through a normal day of courses, I would assume you have combat classes. I would assume an archery, a magic class.
I just didn't know if we were going to be like, we're all in scholar's robes with no weapons.
You're terrible.
We're using a dagger and a candelabra. Like, let's go.
Hey,
you got some cool slippers, too.
Yeah, cool slippers.
Don't forget.
Exactly. No. She's been, like, putting secretly trying to stealthily put them on and have no one notice the whole time.
Sure. They are very stealthy. They make no noise as they slide onto your little feet.
You know what? I'm going to take the sack with us because if this is going to damage stuff, idea. Like this... I don't want to get in double trouble for not doing my work and then also
you blew up the bag of
catalogable
items.
I'm gonna take it and then I'll take it now and ask for forgiveness later. So
always the best policy.
All right, so I guess we're gonna go. I'll go first if we're gonna, or I'll like open the door to the south and like see what.
As you open the door to the south. The room in here has grown very cold at this point. So we're talking like 50 degrees. just very uncomfortable to be in. The minute you open the door, a warm gust of summer wind comes and ushers over you. And you are standing now. It's a hallway, but these strange sort of black vines have moved and crawled over the surface of the loose where the walls would be. It seems like they've pushed out a little bit, and you see the little ice beneath your feet, but you sense like all these floral smells fill the air, and all these plants of strange and bright colors have bloomed up along these vines. And the first thing you notice as you're standing in this southern hallway, you know, and you've seen before, there is a large and archaic iron door placed at the end of the hallway. That is the relic room, which grad students are certainly not allowed to go into. That is where things that are very powerful or things that are very rare are kept and cataloged and dealt with only by the professors of the university. That door seems to stretch at an interminable amount of distance down this hallway now that is coated and painted in these vines. And there's this slight blue that shifts to these like summer sunset hues almost that fills the door frame far away from you. Beyond is just ringing the cracks of this door, like shining.
Hallway. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah.
To the south.
Guys, this is beautiful in here.
It is beautiful.
I want to do a nature check on all the vines and flowers.
Absolutely.
Arcana check.
Before you all do that, can you all make me wisdom? What is it called now?
Wisdoms.
Wisdom saves, please.
You guys are within 10 feet of me, so you can add 5 to that.
Woohoo!
Because I'm a
Do
paladin.
we also have resistance? Is that an Eladrin thing? Are we resistant to wisdom saving throws?
Nope.
No.
Charms. Advantage on charms.
Okay, so wisdom saving throw, that's going to be a 13 plus 5?
Yep.
17.
18.
For me.
21.
It is hard to keep your cool with the heady scents of flowers all around you. And as you step out of this room, you get that moment, you know, when you're like too drunk and you get the spins? That happens for just a moment as you cross the threshold of this door and you find yourself, you center. And you're looking at this strange occurrence built out ahead of you and this door that seems so much further away to you somehow than it could geographically be. It's very like, holy shit. But you guys managed to find your footing and like breathe off the heady sense of everything. And you can see that the hallway now, you haven't seen it before somehow, but the other hallway that leads to the stairs out of here is now visible. As you look to, so it's west, but you're looking to your right.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is maybe a familiar sensation to you, oh party paladin.
Maybe I haven't been here before, but I've been here before.
Am I on drugs?
Maybe. I'll be honest, maybe. I don't know, but this is
so weird.
This is far out, man. Like, this is crazy.
I was like, oh, sorry.
Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say I want to use one of my fancy abilities.
Yeah, get it.
Might not be relevant at all, but detect portal. I can use magic to sense whether a planal portal is present.
That literally true?
Yeah,
like you actually have that.
Yes,
Horizon walkers.
Wow.
As an action, detect distance and direction to the closest portal within a mile, and I can use it once for short or long rest.
Celeste is like, fuck. I said they could use.
What's your class again?
Class.
I'm a ranger with the Horizon Walker pick, so their whole thing is about interdimensional knowledge.
You're the gunslinger.
Here we go. There is a portal directly to the south of you past those doors. But when you try to focus on how far away it is, you fucking can't. Like, there's something, like, it seems to jump and spin in your mind in these incomprehensible ways where your sense of time just gets destroyed. Time and distance doesn't make any sense to you as you're fathoming how you could get there. But you know instinctively it's behind those doors.
So as she's like trying to like reach out and has one of those kind of like
it's that moment where your hand seems to stretch out super far and then you kind of stumble a little bit forward.
Venture Maidens in
she tells you guys, we gotta get on the other side of the door. There's a portal there. It probably goes to like some crazy fade nature place, and we should go. Oh my god, we should go. And she like slaps Larenthir's arm and she's like, we gotta go. This is like our thing. We gotta do this.
Before you do that,
he's like, yeah, I mean,
Bellica is like, no way. The Feywilds are dangerous. I don't want to go in there. That sounds awful. What are you thinking? Why would we do that? We're also probably going to get in trouble. And how do you know we can get back?
Magic, duh.
I mean, I don't need to hear more than that. I'm on board. Let's do this.
She crosses her arm. Like, I'm assuming you guys start walking, and she's gonna like cross her arms and follow. She's like,
I can picture this perfectly. It's just.
Are you walking to the south towards the door?
Gonna try.
Best she can.
Yeah.
All right. So you begin to walk forward. You think you're walking forward, and then you're walking backwards, and the hall just keeps like straining around you, and you see now the vines begin to shift and twirl, and that blackness becomes a withered desiccation as they fall, and you begin to feel that cold again as it rings, and the tunnel opens out around you as things are becoming now these walls of ice as you're getting, you think, closer to this door. But the shadows are growing so much around it. As you're approaching, you see this large creature begin to shift and move. And all you know is a creature, but as you sort of keep reaching forward, you see this large, it's bigger than a wolf, but sort of has that kind of four-legged shape. But then this long, extended neck reaches out, almost like a slinky as it goes and like pops out towards you, and you see these two sets of red glowing human eyes set into this face that is ringed by this mane around it, and you just smell and experience the dripping sort of hackles of this creature as its eyes glow red at you, and it twists its head around in a 180 degree and snaps it back into place.
This is like some demented Dr. Seuss shit.
It's like the evil version of the forest spirit in Princess Mononoke. His hands, antlers. God.
And you don't hear this with your ears, but you hear it with your bodies.
Oh, okay.
The master is not ready to receive visitors. Turn back.
What? And the thing leans its head to one side and then the other side, and this incredibly shocking human face built into this, now you can see purple fur that rings it, and its neck sort of retreats again back onto this huge, almost like a St. Bernard size kind of body of a dog that's sitting now and plants itself firmly in front of the door.
This is some kind of fucked up werewolf slinky thing.
It's like the face stealer in Avatar.
I'm gonna, just because this, one of my, I think my flaw is, well, most people scream when they see demons or weird things. I stop to judge their anatomy.
Are you sage background?
So I'm a cloistered scholar, but it is the same thing, basically. So I, like, as it's doing that, like, turning, I'm like trying to like do that, trying to figure out like what it's doing with its head. And I'm gonna use divine sense just to see. It'll tell me if it's a fiend, an undead, or a celestial. I don't know if it is, but I figure might as well find out.
Okay. It is none of those things. But I will let you know it is a fae. I would love to add fae to the list in this world.
Okay, I'll
or
take
divine sense specifically.
So I'm gonna be like leaning back as it's, and I'm gonna like whisper like out the side of my mouth to Zafir, be like, so that it's a fae.
And that pings in a radius around you, correct?
60 feet.
There are fae everywhere. You look to your left, there should be something about 5 feet to your left, and you look, and there's nothing there except the crawling vines. You look to your right again, but you're sure there are fae creatures here around you, and it's sort of like your sense goes haywire for a minute. It's like when you stumble into an ore mine with a metal detector, the thing just explodes.
Yeah.
You get the sense that the environment has shifted and the fae have somehow... something's going on here.
So then I'm going to be like, but like, don't be alarmed, but there are fae everywhere. Like, I can see them. They're everywhere. Like, they're in the walls. Like,
I mean, do you guys want to get through
the
this
game
doorway?
has changed, guys. Like, you mean the one ahead of us?
Yeah.
With the creature in front of it?
It said the master wasn't ready yet.
And I'm going to turn around and I'm going to be like, we don't want to be rude. Like, I mean...
And as you say the master isn't ready, Zafira.
Yes.
Right? The thing extends its neck again, and even longer this time, and it seems to move out and head in front of it. A solid 5 feet of neck has just extended from this thing, and the red eyes are blinking again, and
God.
it seems to do that thing that cats do, actually, when it puts its paws in front of it, and its shoulders, like, creep up as if it's guarding this door.
Bro, like, we're not... He's not ready. We're
I mean,
cool.
I was just asking. God, believe. Jeez.
Could I make a knowledge check on this strange bay creature? Because I get advantage.
Yeah,
they're my favorite enemy.
I would try, but my brain is on fire from the psychedelic trip of everything around me.
Yeah,
everything
no
that's
fucking
happening.
kidding. All right. 24.
Okay, 24. Yeah, sure. You can absolutely identify what this is. It is called a Yeth Hound, which is a fae creature you have seen in textbooks. They are like the hounds of really, really powerful fae creatures. So you might find them in the employ of hags, greater fae, but these things are incredibly loyal and incredibly dangerous. They have a human intelligence, though they cannot physically speak. And they have a telepathic bond to their masters, which can extend. They have an incredibly deadly barking sound that they do that can inspire fear into the hearts of mortal creatures. They are terrified of sunlight. That is pretty much the only weakness they have, but very strong creatures that have to have a master that is somewhere close if they're here.
I whisper in and relay all this information to you both. Like, it's just be cool. This thing's like really scary. It's like its bark is literally worse than their bite, and its bite is really bad. Yeah. So,
like,
they've got human jaws, so you're definitely gonna get some kind of disease. Weird. They have a human face that's built onto a dog body.
That's fucking creepy as fuck.
Like
oh
gross.
my god.
I'm looking at a picture of it right now.
Yeah.
All right. Like,
disgusting, right?
Cool. Sorry for like getting in the way of the master. Like, later. I'm gonna like start backing up, but like walking backwards with it in front of me, so I don't turn my back to it, because it doesn't seem like it's a cat type hound creature. I don't want to turn my back to it.
Before we totally walk away, like you guys have already turned around, I'm gonna stop, but just before leaving as well, I'm gonna be like, Can I ask you a question?
It twists its head again, and as it does so, it seems to make that vertebrae crack, crack, crack,
unfazed
crack sound as it's looking at you, and extends its head, seeming to wait.
How long have you been here?
And it pauses and lowers its eyebrows because it is a humanoid face. In confusion.
As long as I've had to be, the master comes.
Oh, should we wait? We'd like to meet him. You guys want to meet him?
Who's your master?
Master is master, and I am done with questions and feeling very, very hungry.
And it smiles and the full shit-eating grin, showing you all of its human teeth as it looks at you.
I start like checking my pockets for like the Faelyn equivalent of like a milk bone. Like
I'm gonna argue that
apples.
Bellica's wisdom is probably the lowest amongst all of us. So she's just like, whatever, I don't have any treats on me, and she's gonna just kind of like, all right, bye.
It's pretty scary. Okay.
She's sheltered as fuck. She doesn't know. She's like, this is what it must be like in the outside world.
Zafira, knowing better, unsheaves both of her scimitars.
Okay. The thing still hasn't moved upon you, and you've backed up enough to this point where you can see that hallway that is extending the other way beyond you. So you have the choice here. This thing is still that interminable again, like, as you've...
Uh-oh.
Again, your perception of how far this door is from you is very strange. And as you've begun to step back, you've actually noticed the ground has shifted, and now there's this really deep, spongy moss that has grown seemingly over the ground below you, and your heels begin to sink and squelch into it.
Well, are we trying to go back in where we came, or do you guys want to go down that hallway that we walked past?
I mean, I'd like to... everything is different. Like, there's space stuff everywhere. Like, I know you just don't know, but trust me, I know it's everywhere. Like, that, and I, like, point at, like, a random part on the wall, is like, is Fae. And, like, that, also Fae. That thing, Fae. Like, it's everywhere.
She tosses her hair back. She's like, okay, I hear you, but, like, did you want to go back the way we came, or do you want to go down the hallway?
Oh,
I mean,
she's like, I told you guys, she's...
Yeah, no, it's fine. I'm just like, wow,
it's great.
I mean, all right. Like, do you want to lead? Like, you seem like this is, like, you have a plan. Do you
I just
have a plan?
realized another aspect of my character is disgust from that Pixar movie of the feelings. Yeah,
yes.
That's her for sure.
Yes.
A mix of her, that and basketball.
All right, while you guys discuss, I'm going to take a little bio. I'll be back
So
real
she's
quick.
got her arms crossed, and she's like, I mean, we can go back the way we came and keep filing stuff in the cold, or we can take this opportunity. I mean, if the professors are going to give us a hard time for not filing our stuff, we can just let them know that, like, a Fae portal is hanging out in the basement with a freaky hound.
I mean, we should probably let them know that anyway.
Do you want to do that instead?
That should be a thing.
That's probably bad.
Why don't we take this opportunity to,
like,
explore a little bit, you guys?
Oh, yes, that's the one who was like, oh, why do you want to do that? Ew, Fae Wilds are so scary.
I didn't say they were scary.
I would just be like, you know,
She looks at you.
that door past that thing has got, like, all the really powerful stuff in it. Like, the stuff that we can't mess with is through that door, and that thing's guarding it. So that probably means that whoever his master is taking all of the really powerful things. So if they don't know upstairs, like, we should probably tell them, because it changed the hallway into ice vine moss thing. So if it can do that, like, maybe we should.
Well, by the time we tell someone, it's already all gonna be gone. So we should just, like, take care of it.
I mean,
I'm kind of on board with that. They put us down here. They can go eat a toe.
What's the plan? Eating toes?
You know what my normal vernacular is. I'm trying to not be that.
All right, what's the plan?
We're going to tell our superiors to eat a toe, and we're going to go figure out...
We're going to keep
handle
exploring.
this shit ourselves.
Okay.
I mean...
So you're going to try to go towards the Hound, or are you going to go down the other corridor?
We're going to go down that flight of stairs that you mentioned that was heading westward off of this corridor.
Yeah, so if you keep heading west down this hallway, you will get to the main room that has the flight of stairs that leads upwards. You guys cannot go any lower. You are at the basement level. So to get out, you have to go to the stairs, which will lead you up to the ground floor, which is down this west hallway. But as you move down this west hallway, there are a myriad of other doors that you encounter because this place is large and labyrinth-like.
So is it worth it
so you
to
continue...
make a map of this?
Were the doors there when we came in?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. All right. Fair enough.
This hallway looks roughly, even though it's covered in strange vines and moss and these sudden growing, changing things all around it retains the vague architectural shape of what it actually looked like before.
Oh, okay.
So if you keep walking to the west, you see that there is two sets of doors. So your left and right, there's a set of doors. If you keep moving down the hallway, there's another set of left and right doors. And then at the end of the hallway is a door that should lead to the large kind of landing floor. And in that room would be the staircase to the ground floor, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
I sort of, well...
I mean... Yeah,
I could almost show you my map, but I can't.
What, do you guys just want to hit the first door on the left and see if there's... Because did we know if there were people in here? Like, besides... Like, we were doing the shit job, but were there other people down here when we came in?
There might have been. If there was someone else on detail work, you would know that if you, in real life, if you turn to that first door on your left, that would lead you into the record room, which would be basically a huge catalog room of just all the record cards of everything that's ever been cataloged in this space. So it's a large, dusty room, but very familiar to... Like library, imagine just index cards filed into boxes. So that's a boring room.
We're not going in there.
Right. And
be
then
like,
the
nope,
room,
not that one.
And then the doors to the right would lead to the junk room, which was directly parallel to where you were before.
It's a west-facing room, right?
Let me give you a little...
I need some...
Gotcha.
I'm trying not to... You started in this top room up here.
Gotcha. Okay, I see. All right.
Yeah, cool.
Do we want any
We're
junk?
in the southeast corner.
Because, like, there's the junk room. I don't know if we want anything in there.
Can't hurt to look.
I mean...
It is, like, whatever, the treasury. Maybe there's actually treasure.
I mean, like, there's that... I mean, we're already in the black. We found that scroll. That was solid. So, like, who knows what's in here?
Yeah, check out these slippers. Aren't they cool? And she shows them off.
They feel silky. Like spider silk.
I'm like...
I had a feeling.
I'm a little jealous. They seem like real comfy, and...
You still have a sack on your back.
I do. Now that we've dealt with... Well, we didn't dealt with. We saw whatever that was. The Yethound.
You feel... The minute you pass around the corner and you're standing in a different hallway, you feel better.
Okay.
Like an oppressive weight or aura has come off of you.
So we're not like all trippied out anymore.
No, you're still trippied out. I mean, still the moss and the vines are moving around this hallway, but things are warmer again. Quite literally, the summer breeze is back.
Okay. Because if we weren't like trippy, I was gonna go stick my head down the hallway and then come back. But we're still good. So
oh, don't worry, you're still here.
All right. Yeah. So
there's a portal
I'm gonna
close to you somewhere. You're still here.
I'm as we're walking, and if we head into the junk room there, I'm gonna be like stick my hand in the sack like occasionally and just be like, no, Just like as we're like casually as we're walking, like just see what I could pull out if anything seems useful. I'll just be like, cool. Nope. Candelabra again. Nope. Yeah,
I'll
whatever.
say that. Let me know when you guys open a door specifically, but I'll let you pull out a few things before you get to the door. So go ahead and roll a a d4 for me.
Oh, d4. All right, sure. We've got 3.
Okay. Ooh. And then I need you to roll a d100.
All right, we've got a 98.
Ooh, that could either be really great or really bad.
You pull a necklace out of the bag that is covered in red beads that look like little sort of swirling marbles of red and orange and yellow. It looks like it has 3 beads on it.
Sage is making very excited. I know what that means, face.
So does Ted, but Ted is...
Yeah.
He's like, jewelry, weird. He's gonna be like, you guys, do you he'll look at Zafira, and then he'll look at, turn to Bellic and be like, you seem like the jewelry type. Is this like, do you want this?
She looks
because you seem like this jewelry.
I look at Zafira. I look at Zafira and I'm like, I mean, yeah, I like jewelry, but
I mean, don't think anything. I'm not there's no meaning. I was just I found it. If you want, there's no other meaning behind it.
She raises an eyebrow and she's like, be cool, man, and looks over at Zafira and is like, do you want it? Because I want it, but I'm willing to coin toss with you.
She looks back at you and she kind of nudges your elbow with her elbow gently and is like, nah, take
thanks. It. And this is the first time you've seen Bellica smile. She's like, thanks.
So,
and then and then looks over at Lanithir and is like, thank you, and puts it on, and she's kind of she wishes there was a mirror. She kind of looks around and she's like, well, she just kind of feels it. She's like, all right, cool. Flips her hair. She's like, all right. Thank you.
It's one of those big,
I don't think there's a mirror in here.
One of those things you would buy at H&M that are the big, collar style, you wear with, absolutely chunky with necklaces. The 3 stones on the bottom. Total statement necklace. It's a little bit tarnished, but otherwise in pretty good condition. It looks like vintage.
Tight.
It wasn't my color anyway.
Fierce. She likes it. She's feeling a boost of confidence. She's like, all right, cool.
Yeah. You get a magic vibe from it, too. It's just something about your sorcery. You're like,
you sense it. Yeah.
It feels right to have this on.
I feel powerful. Confident.
Mm-hmm. If anybody wants to make an arcana, you could, but
sure.
Whatever.
If I feel it.
I'm not.
Yeah.
Because it's not for me.
Oh, hell yeah.
Oh,
it. My goodness. Oh, let me add my modifier to that because it's a fat number. That's going to be... Oh, shit. I can't do math. What's 18 plus 7?
25. So,
the 3 of us instantly. She's like, I can't do math.
I can. It just doesn't come to me as quickly.
You... As a learning girl who went to a good school, you recognize this as a necklace of fireball.
Tight.
So if you would like to find that in the DMG, you can look up the specifics, but basically you can use it, the gems on top of it, you can throw them and cast a fireball. It looks like it is in the...
multiples.
Yeah, it looks like it is in the mod Eladrin style, which was in vogue about 200 years ago.
Very vintage. It's chic.
It's vintage.
Yeah, no, this would go for a very high price.
I think my grandmother wore a necklace like that.
She feels fucking great. Not because of this, obviously because of the magical powers, but more because of the high fashion value of this.
Absolutely.
She's from Faelyn. This is a big deal. Oh my God. Everybody has magical shit, but not everybody has antique magical shit.
Magical, absolutely.
And he's like, man, I've really been doing this whole archiving thing wrong. Is he watching the slippers and the necklace
Damn. I guess so.
Next time.
You still have the bag with you. But at this
time
point,
could be this time.
So standing in the hallway, you have the door to the left, which would presumably lead to the record room. The door to the right, which would lead to the junk room. You have another set of doors in front of you. You know the door to the left on that side would also lead to the record room, and the door on the right would also lead to the junk room. Both of these doors have 2 entrances because they're very large rooms. And then at the very end of the hall, parallel to you, or not parallel, perpendicular to you, is the door to the large landing room, which has the stairs. So where are we going, team?
Should we just peek in the record room?
Just see if there's anything.
See if there's anything interesting. Kind of horrible, crazy monsters, maybe.
Yeah, I'll open the door just to see, because if there's somebody in there, maybe like we don't even have to go anywhere. We'd be like, oh shit, there's a thing in the hallway.
Yeah, the other students are like, oh my god, I'm tripping balls.
I mean,
man.
are we trying to,
right?
to address that ourselves, or are we actually looking for an elder?
Well, I mean, we're walking past it. It can't hurt to just peek in.
Yeah.
I mean, we say that now. So.
Famous last words.
Yeah, right.
Ted, so you are opening the door, yes?
Yes.
Can you roll a d6 for me, please?
Damn. 1.
Okay. As you open the door to this room, it swings open on creaky hinges as the heavy door seems to almost move of its own accord. And you are staring at a very long room that is filled to the brim with junk that has been stacked and piled. It's like when you imagine in cartoons where you see dragons' lairs, it is the exact opposite of that, with tin pots and gray and silver things just piled in strange containers, mismatched vases that are just full of swords and spears and just other things that have filled the floor all over the room, and there are just sacks seemingly thrown about in disarray of this room. And it takes you just a moment of your time to realize, like, this is not the room that you should be seeing. Logically, the junk room you're seeing should have been in the other door that you opened up.
Man.
I'm gonna tell you guys this.
Yeah.
Like, somebody check that other door. I mean, I can go, but like
she turns and opens it and peeks in.
The one directly across?
Yeah.
You roll a d6 for me.
6.
Okay. So as you look and you open up, you see long stacks and rows before you that stretch all the way to the ceiling. And you recognize immediately that dusty smell of the record room.
Yeah, this is the record room. Wait, which way did we come down the hall? Wait, I'm so confused.
I shut the door and I opened it up again. It's the same room.
Can you roll a d6 for me?
Oh man.
2.
Okay. You look into a room and you see the landing level. You see the stairs across from you on the northern side of the room, and you see a pair of red eyes lurking in the shadows that look remarkably like the Yethound's eyes you just encountered, and all of the large neat tables that filled this room and the antique couches in the corners.
Guys, now we're what? Do you see this?
She leaves the other door open and turns to look over to see what he's talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Does she see the same thing? Okay.
You can see the room.
What just said that was the junk room. I don't understand.
It was the... What? Everything is different.
Wait, what did you do? Did it just change?
Shut that door and open it again.
Shut it and open it.
Across the hall.
Can you roll a d6 for me?
4.
Okay. As you open up the room, you are looking into the interior of a large closet of some kind that seems to extend back. It's about the size of a storage container. And there are just for lack of a better word, they're just swords, like fucking everywhere, hanging on the walls, in racks, in jars, in containers, glass containers, all around you. There are just swords piled up on the floors, around. Just there have to be at least 400 swords that crammed into the corners of this storage locker-sized room.
I've never even seen this room. What room is
Belka's
this?
arms
I don't know.
are
That
crossed.
looks more interesting, and I shut my door.
She looks at you and she's like, guys, why don't we just open a door until it looks appealing?
And I'm
What
like,
is the
well, here's my.
landing?
I want to go look in that room with all the swords, but at the same time, I'm like, but like.
Well,
okay.
I mean, like, the door,
So-
if we open a door and it's just a closet, that's fine, but we should find one that has another door at the end of it.
Right,
Well, yeah,
but, like,
he found the landing.
but here, I shut that door already. So.
Oh, damn it.
But like, okay, but hear me out on this one, right? I don't know if you're ready for it. Like, what if we open and it's the same door? What happens?
I mean...
Like, do we see each other?
I
Is it
don't
the
know.
same- What like
I never took philosophy. That class was always full. Did
I never took it
I
either.
took
This
it,
is just what
and
I'm
it's the
asking.
same thing
right?
that would most like. She's like overconfident. She might be wrong, but she's not gonna let you guys know that. She's like, I took philosophy, and it's probably what would happen if you put a hole, that black hole thing. Have you guys seen those? You put it in a bag of holding, causes the universe to like collapse on itself.
Oh, those things that kobolds
Yeah,
make.
like
Right, so like we shouldn't do that then. No more two doors at the same
yeah,
time.
it's like a yeah.
Okay.
It's a bad thing, right?
Well,
Don't
let's
do it.
keep opening
Cool.
doors because
What if I...
I want to look in the sword room real quick just to see if anything.
Sure.
looks-
Totally. Are there any fancy ass swords
Yeah, that's what
in
I'm
there?
saying.
they're
Yeah,
all
let's
like
get
the
in there.
same fucking
Yeah,
sword,
philosophy. Hang on.
slightly rusty.
Let us go ahead, dear friends, and make a perception, unless you feel there would be a better case to find a dope ass sword, like in a room.
Inspection, or
Right.
sorry, investigation.
Investigation.
Investigation, maybe.
Not for
Whichever
me.
is higher for you.
Perception
Oh.
for me.
Alright.
Yeah, I'm.
You just
I'm,
walk in and
like-
like breathe in to see if you can like sense it.
Ooh, nice. I got a 22.
I got a 22 as well.
Right on. Guys, so
Wow.
number 1 is the junk room. 2 is the landing. 4 is the sword room. The storage wars sword room. And
Sworded
six-
doors.
the swordage wars. And 6 is the record room. So
So far.
we don't know where 3 and 5 lead
I'm
yet.
glad you're keeping track of this. I gave up.
I mean, before you found the sword room, I was gonna be like, "Hang on, guys, watch this." Open the door just to see. Like,
Are you
go
just like
through all of them just to see.
slamming?
Okay.
What
All right,
happens if
kids.
we rip the door off the hinges?
You created this, Celeste. You
That
created
went
this
forever.
hot mess. I see.
I'm
We're just
fine.
like,
I
what
also wanna
happens
point out-
next? I want to know.
that labyrinthian through all of this, just so everyone's aware. He's got like he's a student, but he's got a 10 intelligence. He's average. He's not overly smart, but he's very good at other things. Book learning, while he does a lot of it, it's more through attrition, not through natural ability. So
Right.
For sure.
Okay. I need both of you. You both rolled the exact same thing. You both rolled
Yeah.
very well. I'm gonna need you to roll just a d20, and whoever gets higher gets one, and whoever gets lower gets the other.
Okay. 11.
17.
Nice.
All right. Ted.
Yeah.
A sword that immediately strikes your attention. There is one that is hung at the back of the room, and it's sort of on one of those racks where you look at if people have a multiple collection of katanas, you know how they
Sure.
slide them into
Mhm.
that fixture. This one is hung by itself alone in this fixture. And as you look at it, it's got these wicked curves to it on the side, that it's very unlike a sword you've ever seen, because it isn't quite curved like a
Mhm.
scimitar, but it just calls to you. It appeals to you in some way. This huge sword just shines to you on the wall, and you just get the sense that it's better than a lot of the other swords in this place. Just the way it's displayed. Everything about the sword calls to you.
I'm gonna like pick it off and I'm gonna look at the curves and I'm gonna be like, wicked.
It does look wicked. Would you like to roll a check on the sword or just take this cool ass sword?
I'll roll a check, but I'm probably still gonna take it anyway because
sure. I mean, you can always take it, but if you want to get more clarification.
Yes, Arcana, I'm guessing.
Arcana or, I don't know. What would be something that like a more military-minded individual? I don't know.
I mean, I could say athletics because history would. Yeah, you tell me. Because like, there's no like military. There's no more knowledge skills, right? So
I know. I hate it, Ted. I've talked about it.
We've talked about it before, So I don't. You tell me.
Okay. I will just tell you. Go ahead and roll. What is your most powerful knowledge skill?
They are all the same. Arcana and history. And nature.
Great. Go with history.
That is a 16.
Okay, that's good enough. This is a sword of sharpness.
Ooh,
when you attack an object with this magic sword and hit, maximize your weapon damage dice against the target. When you attack a creature, you roll a 20. Target takes an extra 14 slashing damage. Then you roll another d20. If you roll a 20, you lop off one of the target's limbs. Basically, it's a stacking effect upon how effective this sword is brutal and deadly, and has a lot more flexibility in maiming and destroying.
And it's not like plus
totally
1 or
brutal.
anything.
No,
Okay.
Look it up on page.
I have the DMG right here.
Yeah, look it up.
Right. Cool, thank you.
This is a wicked military weapon that was beautifully crafted that you happen to find in this little storage shed.
I like wave it around because it's curved and my other sword's not. I'm like trying to see if it feels different, so I'm like,
It feels much better made.
I look at you like, silly. Something wicked this way come.
What the fuck?
And I'll like point out with the sword and I'll be like, I get it.
Jesus. But the sword you find, Sage, the one that is that appeals to you most is basically what I'm going with, because you find a lot of fucking swords as you're looking in this room. But you find your heart's desire, and there is a black case that looks like something you might put a fire extinguisher in, but painted black, that is hung on the left wall as you enter, and just this very tall case. And you go over and open it up, and you find a sword in front of you that is just beautifully crafted steel, but the blade itself splits about 6 inches from the end of it, and it splits into 2 different sections, so creating sort of like a pincer effect. And just to save on time, there are little skulls that have been like cut into the metal and worked into it and built into the hilt itself.
That's fucking dope as fuck. I would like to roll an Arcana check on it.
Go ahead.
12. Not too great.
You're not sure exactly what this sword does. The skulls conjure necromantic magic. They conjure death, or perhaps another culture you're not familiar with, but you're just not quite sure yet.
I show it to Labyrinthian and I'm like, look at this one. Look at the cool skulls on it. It's so. Do you know what it is?
I mean, I'll
special?
I'll look at
Take
it.
a crack.
Oh, what the hell, right?
I think it goes well.
Natural
with my
20.
outfit.
I rolled.
Yes!
Sword.
Amazing.
All right. Sage, go to page 206 of your DMG for the Sword of Life Stealing.
Yeah.
Damn, you guys are. What is this? Like the wondrous item
Sword
episode?
Bros.
Fuck.
Sword Bros.
This is the random table episode.
Dang.
We'll never see these ever again.
I know. That's true.
Unless you survive.
So don't delete your character sheet.
Don't delete your character sheet.
When you
Please
attack
don't.
a creature with this magic weapon and roll a 20 on the attack roll, the target takes an extra 10 necrotic damage if it isn't a construct or undead, and you also gain 10 temporary hit points.
So it's like Soul Siphon.
Love it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sword
All right.
blows.
That is everything you find in the sword room. There's nothing else good to find. For the sake
Cool.
of time.
Well, this is done. All right. Do we want to keep going, or do we want to?
Did you just close that door
Uh,
with your sound?
I mean, I made the sound.
You
so
did, and you
probably.
also made a closing gesture. I think
Yeah,
you
I
just
mean,
closed that door.
He's like, whatever. This is done.
All the doors are closed again.
Oh, oops. So, like, do we want to go? Do we want to just open a door till we get one we like?
I mean, yeah.
Seems good
That
to
we
me.
can all like agree on. Yeah.
All right. I'll open the door. I'll walk across the hall to the other door and be like, "What's in here?"
Can you roll a d6 for me?
I got a 2.
Okay.
I don't remember what
All
that
right.
was.
You open up this door, and instead of what you were expecting, according to
Yeah.
last time,
What I remember.
whatever. No. So you open up this door, and this time you see a circular chamber, and it looks like it's probably about 30 by 30 feet wide, and you see from where you're standing across the room is this blue shimmering outline of a door. You recognize the iron door that was at the end of the hall. The Yethhound was sitting in front of the artifacts room. This is a very high ceilinged room, probably about 40 feet high, but there is nothing else in the room except for in the very center there is a circular pedestal that seems to have it's a potted plant that is sitting in the middle of the room that looks like a tiny tree that has been manicured and shifted off to one side, like a little bonsai tree, sitting in a white and blue little china pot in the center of this room. And as you look at this tree, you just get this sense of incredible joy and exhilaration just looking at it. Something about it just calls
So
to you
precious.
as like the most, but also like the most raddest, badassest tree
Dude,
that
I'm
ever
on your
was.
Oh,
As a ranger, I truly appreciate.
we can all see
I
it,
love
right?
plants.
We're
I'll
just
see
like,
it as the
look
door
at this little
opens.
badass baby tree. Badass baby tree. Do you want to touch it?
Yeah.
I really want to touch it.
Kind
let's
of,
go in
yeah.
I fucking go
But
for
we
a
recognize
poke
that that's the door, right? Then, like, we're on
You
the
do
other side of the
recognize
door.
that you are on the other side of that big ass door.
I'm
that was
just
all
gonna-
tiny.
Make sure that we're all aware, but you guys see that door is the other side of the door with the hound thing in front of it. Was like, the master's not ready, don't come
Obviously,
in.
this
We're on the
master
other
isn't
side.
that all powerful if it
That's
can't
weird.
keep this from happening.
Maybe that her words, not mine. I say to the
I wish I could do
open
the tongue pop.
To the ceiling.
Can't do it.
All
Let's,
right, that's the
yeah,
plan.
let's go touch the baby tree.
Go get it,
shit.
Belka.
Leave this
Push her
door
to the room.
open as we walk.
I
into
walk
this
right the
room.
fuck up and touch that baby tree.
Okay. Pause in time. Where are the other two of you right now when she walks up and touches it? Are you on the edge of the room?
I'd be inside.
We'd
Inside?
be inside the room.
So
yeah.
step just inside the room.
just inside the door.
How close are you to her? It's a 30 by 30 foot room.
5 feet
You
away.
guys all follow closely
Okay.
behind me then?
I did,
I'll be 10 feet back from her because I'm like, everything's fine, guy. Like,
Got it. Bellica, could you go ahead and make a wisdom save for me, please?
don't forget What's your +5?
That's 18.
That's like the coolest ability ever.
With the +5?
Oh, with +5? 18 plus 5. So, thanks.
23.
Okay. Oh, so almost there. You reach out. Where are you touching on the little tree? The little bonsai tree that's sitting in the middle.
I just want to, like, touch one of the leaves because it looks cute. I'm booping the tree.
It's tiny. You're booping the little tree.
Don't you guys want to boop a baby bonsai tree? That's just so cute.
Maybe I'm going to wait to see what happens to you first.
Yeah.
I'm like dying to poke this thing. It's like she was so close to you.
Give me one storytelling moment. As you boop this tree, the first thing that happens, you are filled with incredible vitality, an incredible, beautiful sense of life, purpose, understanding. It's like the blood within you calls to this tree and what it exudes. And you feel almost like this elevator effect as some part of you seems to rise from your physical form. You feel light and whole and complete as all of these colors and sound and nature is around you, and you experience a oneness you have never felt is the first thing that happens to you.
Did I just become a druid?
And then you feel something and then you feel something crash.
Oh no.
You feel something fall. It's like you're too full of that energy, that like summer beautiful energy that fills you. And it just seems to eat at you from the inside. That's the only way to explain it. Is like your head is bursting with a huge like migraine almost of power, and you feel these strong arms sort of catch you in the middle of this as you're physically falling forward, but you're also mentally falling forward. And you see this tall figure swathed in these black, almost monk-like robes, and you see yourself staring up into an iron mask.
Is it hot?
Of sorts that's twisted. No.
That's probably the thing that's trying to kill us.
Wait, but I'm twisted iron mask. His tall, shadowy arms, aren't I?
The only thing you feel is sick, as your reality is so different from where you are, and you realize you're caught, and immediately that sense of danger comes over you, but also it's so hard to understand where you are, and you're caught by this figure, and this iron mask looms over you and leans down, and you realize that in the eye sockets there's nothing but blackness. But somehow the mask seems to twist, and you hear a familiar female scream from behind you. It's a scream you've heard before, somehow, of someone connected to you in some way, come from echoing somewhere beyond the plains, and you feel a crack. And that's the last thing you feel. And you two, back in this world...
That's a lot to digest. I need to...
You two, back in this world, you see your companion reach up, touch a tiny bonsai tree, and then suddenly this image of black, shimmering something surrounds this tree. It's like an aura that passes through, or like a black mist that puffs out in like a little 5-foot ring around it, and then just begins to dissolve. And your companion, her grasp goes limp and her hand falls to the side, and her neck just suddenly turns at this strange angle, and her body falls to the floor.
I try to catch her.
Yeah, you're in front of me, so...
Yeah. You move and you catch her, and as you do, it is very clear to you that the neck has been completely broken, and Brittany, your character is dead.
Oh my god!
I've never died! I've never died in a campaign, you guys! Look at my face! I'm purple! I've never died! I've never fucking died!
Zafira. And I'm like,
There's
let's
no,
go. And I run towards the door
save
to get out.
No.
Game over, man. I'm fucking out of here.
Oh man, that's too real. She starts like just like in complete and total shock and is just like glued to the floor and is just holding her limp body and just can't fucking move. She's just in total shock.
You go ahead and make a wisdom save for me.
Did I get running or no?
Yeah, you're running.
Okay.
You're out of the room.
Wow.
Okay. So you won't have my +5, sadly, because I ran out of the room.
It's still a 17. It's not bad.
Okay. As you lean there and it starts to dawn on you that your companion and your friend is dead, there's no other way to spin it. You begin to feel something. It's like ghost-like whispers, almost, or something slimy begins to move around the back of your neck, almost like a hand that's like holding you there, almost in a comforting way.
Like a head pusher.
And you just seem to feel something like, ew. Not like that. Gross. You just seem to hear a voice coming from somewhere around. I'm here. And I love you. I love you so much. And I'm coming back.
That's what the masked dude told us in the other thing, and that's a meta thing. I'm dying.
I'm almost here. I'll be there soon.
She retches on the ground next to her poor dead friend, and then is like clawing and scraping and dragging herself like out of the room and slams the door behind her.
You absolutely do so, and you see your paladin companions running in front of you down this long hallway.
If I see her get out, I will run back and I will like, you're 15, right?
Yeah.
I will fucking pick you up over my fireman's carry and we were fucking out of here.
We're getting out.
Are you guys just leaving
my
body
shoulder.
there?
I don't care what you have to
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
You were just a bitch too.
I wasn't a bitch! I was just aloof.
You didn't give a fuck.
Yeah, we were like, let's do it. You're like, whatever.
What do you want? She's from Faelyn. She's an Eladrin.
We didn't have our breakfast club bonding moment to like be friends where we have to like juke around the principal. We didn't have that moment to like.
Well,
oh, no.
it just happened.
No,
You just bonded.
The principal juked us.
That's fucking
You
next.
just bonded.
So we're out.
So, you two have found each other. What are you doing now? All the doors are closed in this hallway.
Sobbing hysterically and just opening the doors like a madman.
We want to get out.
Okay.
Do we I'm gonna be like I'm like with you still like on my like we could just go up the actual stairs rather than using the doors.
Okay.
You know that to get to the actual stairs, you have to go back to that landing room that you open the door up once to. We have to go and get up there.
So we get to the landing door.
Yeah. So you flare it open, and there are a few more rooms you haven't seen before you hit that sequence again. You see a room that is full of statues just looming out behind you, just rows and rows of strange marble statues, and you close that door again. You see another room that was like the swords room, and you open it up, but it's just full of orbs and crystal balls, just filled room to ceiling as you go. Yeah, and you close that up again, and as you just panic trying to try doors until you get to that room again, and it opens up before you, and it's the largest room you've seen so far, and there are, again, those 6 huge work tables, lounge area, and you see the stairs across from you.
And I'm gonna I'd be like, are you like, I know you're not good, but are you good enough to walk? Because there's the stairs. We gotta get the fuck out of here.
Yeah.
I mean, she's there.
Okay.
Something happened with that we can. There's people that are stronger than us that maybe can bring her back. I don't know, but we could.
Yeah.
We gotta just. No one knows, as far as we know, no one knows this happened. Like, people need to know this.
Where is everybody? There should be people here.
Yeah, I guess the stairs go up.
The stairs go up.
I guess we go up.
All right.
Yeah,
so you run into the room and you run towards the stairs. And that vision you saw before, a human face begins to move and twist out of the shadows as these red eyes stare, and you hear just a scream, a psychic scream of rage and anger. The master is coming! As he moves and screams, and it seems to echo all around this room, and you're a little bit tossed back as you're trying to go, and suddenly you hear a tiny voice around you. You hear, "Hey!" And something shatters, like, on a bookcase beside you, as, like, a clay pot is just thrown astrewn. And then, again, there's another, like, smash as papers are moved off a work table by you. And for a moment, you see, landing on the ground in front of you is a figure who's about 2 feet tall or so, completely blue skin, and wearing this strange red and yellow hat, dressed in garb you've never seen or recognized. "Hi! Hello! You seem to be in a precarious situation, but I'm here to help. If you'll let me."
On the ground and I kneel so I'm face to face with this thing. I'm like, "What are you? Who are you? What is happening? My friend's dead. I can't handle this. I literally can't even. What is going on?"
And the little creature it's like a tiny boy that reaches out both hands to your face on either side and goes, "Don't worry, there's nothing to fear. Nothing as long as Wyatt is here." And he touches your face and he leans in and gives you a boop, on the nose. Aww, and you suddenly feel a little bit better. But then you hear this EF hound scream from the stairway behind you, and you see this thing, the extending neck of this beast, coming and shooting forward into the room. And that's where we're ending for today.
No! God damn it! Wyatt.
Yay!
Britt, one more level and I'd bring you back to life. I don't have 3rd level spells, so I can't do it.
Damn.
I'm sorry, Britt, your NPC did not make it.
It was interesting. I've never had
you went the shade. If you go back and watch this video, just watch
I'm aware.
Color change. I know, but I got to you saw it, but I was very clearly watching it live. It was a crazy color wheel of just I
have a terrible poker face. If I'm genuinely surprised by something, it's visible.
Yeah, so thank you everybody for tuning in. I know this was not the episode you expected, or I think we expected, but it's a pretty good key to understanding what's going on. If
just how
that makes sense,
evil
but
this fucking shadowy mask figure is.
Not the episode you expected, but the episode you deserved.
The episode you deserved.
It's our dark night.
Yeah, all right. So let's go ahead, and Ted, we'll put you at the end there, and make sure to mention where we can find you. So thank you everyone so much for listening. I have been your Dungeon Master, Celeste Konowich. I'm your now dead Elad. First character death I've ever experienced was Eladrin Sorcerer Bellica.
I am your soon-to-be PTSD suffering Eladrin Horizon Walking Ranger, Zafira.
I am Ted from Nerd Immersion. Find me there on the internets everywhere. Find Brittany on my channel every other Monday. And I've been your strangely woke now paladin.
So woke.
Half-elf paladin Larenthier, who's his whole world got turned upside down an hour. Crazy.
Weird how that happens in Dungeons and Dragons.
What in an afternoon.
Mm-hmm.
What is this? Where are we? All right, well, thank you everyone so much for tuning in to this strange little episode. And we're rolling into the final arc, you guys. Seems like, it looks like at this point, Ted will be back and joining us soon. I will have to NPC Sage's character, because Sage has got a card to play. But, all right, well, thank you everyone so much for listening. And, of course, tune in. We're actually going to be playing next Wednesday also, so double feature. And I suspect it'll be a longer game than this one, so fasten your seatbelts. Sorry, you East Coast folks.
1 week from now, next week.
Double
next
down.
Wednesday.
1 week. Next Wednesday. We're
The
going to be playing
13th.
again. The 13th.
Woo
The
woo.
luckiest number of all for recording a great finale episode.
Mm-hmm.
So,
I'm so excited.
farewell, friends. And thank you. And you know what? You all want to say it together?
Sure.
Why don't you guys venture away?
Yay!
Venture away, you darling pineapple.